tour.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Welcome back to Tottenham on Tour. We are officially back. We are back. We're better than ever. We're here from the coffee house, from Canada, from Nick's place, from Eric Israel, from Malaysia. We're here. We're all over the world. And we're back for the UEFA Champions League draw on this fine day. Big up to everyone in the chat. We're going to firstly introduce the man, the legend, Mr. Brian Dagul is here. How are you today, sir?
Yeah, I've been up since 3 o'clock in the morning in Toronto, as you do. It's now 5:46. About to enjoy the draw. It's great to be back. It's great to be back on our channel at long last, and we're going to be back a hell of a lot more. And in 48 hours, you won't be saying coming from Toronto anymore, or for a very long time. It will be directly from London. So happy days.
Mr. Nick, Barry, Sean, Ranjit, and all the name who's going to put on a show for you. How are you doing this morning, sir?
Kind of sums things up. Look, I'm all right. I'm looking forward to see who we're going to get. 7 games in the Champions League to get to the final, so you never know. It's a lot easier to win the Champions League than it is to go further in any other competition. So maybe we should put all our eggs in one basket. Who knows?
Great.
Which basket though, Nick? Which basket?
Do we have eggs, Nick?
It'll be like you know when you go to the self scans, right? And there's gonna be like there's like an error. You need assistance. It'll like won't compute. So.
Mr. Eugene, sir, how are you this evening for you? It is evening for you, so how are you today?
Yeah, it's going to be 7 p.m. soon in Malaysia. Here, I'm doing fine. Especially good evening to our guys in Asia, across in morning wherever you're in the mornings, and of course good afternoon, guys, wherever in the afternoons, right? Doing fine. Did a watch along yesterday with a couple of old friends, Scott M and all that, right? I haven't done it with Scott M in such a long time. Yeah, you know. But you know, when Scott is live, he's pretty decent. Just as long as we put him in the chats. You put him in the chats, he goes all out.
Yeah, unless Scott gets up very, very early, I don't think he'll be up right now because I think he's an hour behind me.
Yeah, he is.
And it's good to be on a show with Amir, right? It's good to be on a show with you. I think it's the first time sharing the same screen with you. Yeah, big up to Amir, right? And he's
Sure.
Yeah.
And Amir, Achi, how are you doing this afternoon, sir? How are you? We seem to have got everyone from every time zone, so that's absolutely brilliant. So, Amir, how are you today?
I'm doing well, Ben. I'm doing well. You know, wishing everyone well back over there in London, of course, and all across the world. Really excited for today's draw. You know, I'm hoping. I don't really mind who we get, just as long as we avoid kind of Paris. Like we were saying there before the show, it could be embarrassing. It could be embarrassing seeing Mbappe and Messi and that lot running down against Dyer, unfortunately.
Royal.
And you know, looking forward to it. I think we've got to enjoy it. You know, we're in the last 16 now. We've done our job. We've done our bit. We wait for after the World Cup, and we enjoy the run. We see who we get, and we take it game from there.
Okay, so what we'll do very, very quickly, we'll just say hello to everyone. Mate, thank you all 41 of you for joining us, especially after we haven't been about for a little while. So first of all, the first thing I've got to do is address the super chat, and I'm even going to sing it. It's from It's Me, it's KPV, and he's coming home, he's coming home, he's coming. Dagul's coming home. Brian doesn't fit right in, but Cole, you're bang on right, and cheers, brother. I'm looking forward to finally seeing you. Who we got? We've got Eugene live on set and live in the comments. Big up. We've got Christian Van Wick. I hope we don't get PSG. I think we'll go through the teams that are in this draw straight after this. Carl saying he wants Dortmund or Benfica. Well, we're not getting Benfica, my friend. That's guaranteed. Mark, good morning. Dan Coys, very good to see you all here. Not eagerly awaiting the draw. Yep. everyone is awaiting this. We got Zach Robinson, big up Zach. We've got my good friend Andrew Gregory, who I cannot wait to meet when I get back. On your bike, Scott, Sean, Gadwin. Did you guys hear Roy Keane and Tim Sherwood were disrespecting Tottenham yesterday on match day? Probably rightly so. Probably rightly so, in all honesty. I haven't heard it or seen it. Maybe we can talk about that after the draw. Who else we got? I'm not going to bring up my own thing up there where I put for us. Billy Warburton, big up. Inter seems to be a big one that people want. Wolfsfee, big up, my friend, big up. Mate, Tottenham Hotspur, Bipolar FC, whatever you want to call us right now. That's what we're doing. Michael, big up. Kelly TV, Kelly JTV, bring on a lot of people. So we're gonna let's go. That's everyone caught up. Let's see. So the group winners who we cannot get: Napoli, Bayern, Chelsea, Manchester City, Porto, obviously ourselves, Real Madrid, Benfica. The people we can get, or the people that are there: Liverpool, for obvious reasons we cannot get Liverpool in this round, Inter Milan, AC Milan, Borussia Dortmund, Club Brugge, Frankfurt, who we can't get because they were in our group, Leipzig, and PSG. So let's go around the table and see who people want and who they think we'll get. And Ben, we'll start with you.
Yeah, it's I want one of the Milan teams personally. I would prefer Inter because Conte will know that team very, very well indeed because he's coached most of them. He'll know their weaknesses, he'll know their strengths, and also his system will play better against an Italian team. So I think an Inter Milan would be a very, very good shout for us. And I think we could do a good job against an Italian team. I do not want to play PSG. My heart already hurts watching Salah play against our shit backside yesterday. Imagine we had Neymar, Mbappe, and Messi running up fucking Emerson Royale, and them absolute clowns. So, no. Don't want to see it. Don't want to see it.
But who do you think we'll get? So if you want them, we'll do a one. Who you don't want, and then who you think we'll get. Who are you going for? Who you think we'll get?
I think they're gonna throw a curveball against us, and we're gonna get a Leipzig, and I think we could struggle against them. So I'm hoping not a Leipzig because they play a system that's very good against ours. But who knows? Maybe Leipzig.
Okay, Nick, Barry, Sean, Phil, Grant, they are gonna put on a show for you. Who are you going for?
Look, I don't care. We're in the knockout stages, right? So whoever we're going to face is going to be good. You can sit there. You can sit there and say, you know, we want this team, we want that team. Look, all the other teams are going, we want Tottenham. So it's, you know, they're the ones that are going to be sat there. I think I'm kind of with Ben. I think from looking at the teams that are in there, I don't want any of the German teams. Obviously, we can't get Frankfurt, but the Italian teams, probably either Inter or AC, would be favourable just purely because you know we've probably got the best chance of going through. Everyone will sit there and say they want Bruges, but you know they've played well. So look, whoever we get, we'll find out soon. But look, it's just about being in there. I think that's the most exciting thing. You know, at various points last week, we didn't think it was going to happen. So we just need to kind of embrace it, try and be positive, and let's just wait and see what happens. But look, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting.
There we go. I mean, before we go to you, just to let people know, steady as shark. The draw, the actual programming starts at 11 a.m.
Yes.
The draw, but they'll probably do their little nonsense and introduce 58,000 people and tell them what they're doing and explain the rules, even though there's two pots, one with winners, one with runners up. They'll make it sound like you need rocket science to be able to work this out. And the draw will probably start around 11:30, I'd say, maybe a little bit earlier, but we're going to be bringing it to you and then we will be talking for a bit. Maybe if we got time, we might even bring some guests on after. We'll drop the link in the description, seeing how everyone's pushed for time. But we'll go to Amir, then we'll go to Eugene, then I give my verdict on who we want, who we don't want, and who we'll get. So Amir, over to you, brother.
Do you know what? I really don't mind who we get as long as it's not Paris. It's just that team's a bit too strong for us to go in the last 16. I'd rather them, draw a City or Real and one of the big boys knocked out. If I could just choose, literally go into the pot and just take one out, I probably would go for Club Brugge, because out of all of those teams, they probably are not the weakest, but they don't have as much experience there in the Champions League. So I would go with them. Inter would be nice for Conte to go and get his revenge, and it's what they're missing. So yeah, just as long as we don't get Paris, and if we do, we got to go and enjoy it as well. We got to go and enjoy it.
Over to you, Eugene.
Who do I think we'll get, and who do I want to get, and who do you
want to avoid?
Or who do I want to avoid? Right. Who do I think we'll get? I can't tell you that because I can't read the future, right? And just as long, right? I don't care who we get, right? So the way we're playing, I think we get kicked out of the tournament anyway. But who do I want to see we get is AC Milan? I want to see how Iggy's gonna get torn. What are we gonna do? But even though
Iggy's come up with a formula. Iggy has come up with a formula.
I know, that's right. He's come up with a formula. Yeah, if it's home, then he'll support Spurs at home. Then when it's in AC, he'll go support AC. But just imagine, right? If we are still 0-0 on one side and 0-0 on the other side, right? I mean, if we are playing, let's say, if we're 0-0 in AC Milan because we're playing home last, and then we're still 0-0 in Spurs, right? Then you'll be sitting down, we'll ask Iggy, who do you want to win? Yeah, then he'll get really torn from there.
Yeah.
But who to avoid, of course, of course, we all want to avoid PSG, right? They seems to be the strongest team and all that thing. But to tell the truth, being Spurs, right? We'll get PSG. And to tell the truth, if we get PSG, I would love it because I would really want to see, right, how much money, right, since we're going to be in the Champions League last 16 and we are going to face PSG, right, and will Levy give Conte the money to strengthen our right side? Because if not,
I wasn't the first one to say it. We've been going 13 minutes and I haven't said his name. Eugene, you win a prize.
Yeah. Will he give him the money to strengthen the right side, right? To at least give us a chance. But as we all know, most probably we'll get some player from somewhere that that Messi
Ryan
and
Nelson.
Mbappe will run around them and do circles and do the conga line and all the shit right in front of us. So it is what it is. Yeah. But that's how I feel.
So before I very quickly give mine, and then I'm going to make a cup of tea myself because I'm going to be downing them quite a lot this morning. We have got a couple of super chats. So first of all, thank you very much to Spurs fan, Comedy Spurs. Let's get someone we can do over. Yeah, please God, please God. But I must admit, no one does Tottenham over like Tottenham do Tottenham over. So I don't really matter. Let's be serious. And then Wolfsby, such a phenomenal supporter from a guy that goes around all the channels and doesn't even support the team. What an incredible person this guy is. Thank you very much for your super chats, guys. And like we said, we are back now. I'm going to be back in England. Look out for a lot of stuff with me and Ben because Ben is got some free time because obviously he works with himself. I'm currently going to be looking for work. Amir will be back with us if he's got time in Israel. Brian Ireland will be. Obviously, Danny when he can. And also Ryan Isaacs. But yeah, I've got to say, get into me. There's a lot of people saying Club Brugge. I don't want Club Brugge. I don't want Club Brugge. Everyone's thinking that this will be an easy game. Their average age is 23. They've got out of a hard group. They have a player that I wax lyrical about all the time and that you're going to see very, very closely in the World Cup by the name of Tajon Buchanan Firth.
What? Who the hell who's got that?
That's the alarm clock for all the Arsenal fans. All the Arsenal fans are waking up right now to such heavenly music. So yeah. So
stream called. Who's playing that?
who is playing that? Is it you, Ben?
Shouldn't be. No.
Who's playing? Who's playing it?
Of course it is fucking me, isn't it? Yeah, that is.
I mute myself, right? I have it in my ear though.
Yeah, I thought I muted myself. Yeah.
That's
So
like no, it won't be. It won't be. That's only a split second. All we can say is we know it's going live. Club Brugge are going to be a very hard team to play. They I was on a stream. Whose stream was I on? I was on Chris Phillips. Let's Talk Tottenham, and we were talking with a Liverpool fan, and he said that he watched Juventus versus PSG, and he said it was probably the most boring game of football he's ever seen. He said PSG are boring, and I said, "Oh my god, if you think PSG are boring, you haven't been watching a lot of us this season." And then just the thought, if he's saying PSG have been boring, can you imagine our first half against a boring PSG? I don't even know if football deserves that. Let me have a look at the tip. I've said it. I'm like KPV. I want Dortmund. We seem to have Dortmund's number in the last 16 in the Champions League. So I'm really, really hoping we get Dortmund. I don't want Bruges. And I think we'll get Dortmund. I think we're going to get Dortmund. But on that note, I'm just to make a cup of tea and I'll be right back with you. All right? I'll be back very, very, very shortly.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're going to go because Barry's not here. So Eugene, are we going to do a Spurs and play a team we should be beating and losing, or are we going to play a PSG and absolutely batter them? It's typical Tottenham for the most part that we keep on.
Yeah. To tell the truth, right, Ben, I've looked at the teams around that we can actually meet, right? That there are none of the teams that we should be beating, because what happened and during the Champions League group stages, right? Look at all the teams that we should have beaten in that group stage, right? And you look what happened, right? So I don't think there's any team that we should be beating. I think like what Barry says, what Nick Barry Ranjit says is very true, right? I think every team in that group stage now below us, right, is just wanting Tottenham Hotspur, because we are the underdogs now, right? And somehow or another, being underdogs in the first pot, right, being with the seeded pot, right? So we are going to be the prime candidate to be picked to be faced, right? So there's no team I think that we should beat, but of course we are always looking at the leagues which are not as high as EPL. Of course, we're looking at leagues like the Belgium league, like Club Brugge and all that. But like what Brian's been saying, I don't think they're all that bad, and we know that how good we are to a certain extent. But don't forget, the first legs of games are being played, if I'm not mistaken, in February, right? And then the other part will be in March, somewhere in March. So that will give us time, maybe hopefully in January, to actually improve our squad. So that's actually the big hope they're all waiting for. So at the moment now, all we can say is bring it on, right? Give us whatever you can. And hopefully in January, we'll actually do some proper purchases. Maybe our January transfer windows nowadays look better than our summer transfer windows. So we get quality during January. So hopefully we can repeat that, what we did last year, and move on from there and prove all the other people wrong. All right. But, being a Spurs fan, proving other people wrong is quite hard.
Amir, am I being very pessimistic that knowing Tottenham could play a Bruges and lose, but then Tottenham play PSG and somehow win? What is wrong with this football club for having this mental identity for not wanting to play teams we should beat because we know we're going to lose against them, but somehow beating teams we should never beat in the history of ever? Should we be worried, or should we just take it in our stride that we shouldn't we've got out the group and we should just enjoy it?
Just call us Mora FC and get it over and done with, Ben. You know what I mean? No, on a serious note, we need to step that up. If there's one thing that's been annoying me, apart from the performances and the lack of consistency this season, it's the lack of backbone in getting over the line. You know, if you remember the United team of the 90s and early 2000s, you know, they would find a way. It didn't matter if it was 0-0 at the 89th minute. They would find a way. Now, we should have, you know, on the performance last night, we should have got something out of that game. We played well enough to get something out of that game. The issue is that we've got players in there that have been there for too long and that are simply not good enough for where we want to be. They'd be fine in a mid-table side or in a side a bit lower down the league, but they're not of the quality of bringing home trophies and getting back to those glory days. So you know, I'm with Eugene. I want to see some purchases in January. If we can do another number this window and bring in 2 quality defenders. Quality. I'm talking. It doesn't have to be, you know, world class 120 million, but I'm talking about, you know, a player, you know, the likes of Skriniar, someone like that to come in, a player who's going to solidify that defense. Once we do that, then I think the sky's the limit. We've got all the other things going for us. We've got the stadium, we've got Kane, we've got Songy, we've got Conte, we've got the fans. Everything's there. It's just we're lacking a few bits of that jigsaw that need to be a few need to be chucked away and replaced.
We're absolutely spot on, Amir. But at this rate, if we do get an Inter Milan, they're not going to sell us shit, are they, Brian? If we get an Inter Milan, we can kiss our dreams of getting any of their players goodbye. We're just not going to play.
100%.
They're not
100%. But this is the thing. Why didn't we get these deals over the line? How long have we been talking about Skriniar for? It's been years.
It's been 5 years.
It's been years. And that's what I'm talking about, getting over the line, right? Fergie, when they needed a striker, he went and got Van Persie from Arsenal, who was scoring goals for fun. And that's what won him the title the next season after that. He got the player that got him over the line. When Liverpool's defence was shocking, what did they do? They went out, they got Van Dijk, they spent the big money, and that player got them over the line. I hate to say it. I hate to say this. But look at the Gooners this season. Right? There's a reason to why they're being successful this season. They brought in Jesus, who's playing fantastic, and they brought in Zinchenko. They were a couple of jigsaw puzzles in their squad that they needed to fill. Why are we not doing that? And why are we still bringing in players that aren't integrating into the team? That just drives me bonkers, honestly.
I'll let you answer that question, Brian. You know the reason.
I mean, first of all I've got to say is apparently this January we're linked with an exchange deal with Dumfries and cash with Emerson. Who in their right mind is going to want to take Emerson? You do realize these other players scout. It'll be listen.
No,
you can
Brian,
have. You can have.
don't say that, Brian.
It'll be
the best right back in the world. Take him.
No. It'll be listen. You can have Dumfries straight for let's say 25 million, or you could have Dumfries and Emerson, and you need to give us 80 million to compensate the crap you're giving us. But we don't need a right back. We've had loads since Kyle Walker. They've all been exceedingly shitter than the next one. We needed an attacking midfielder. We should have got this Milanovsky. Really would have helped us this up until January. Apparently, an agreement, and as I said, that word agreement is like petrol on fire when it comes to this football club. But yeah, but there you go. I said I didn't want to talk about him that much till after the draw, but hey ho, we've opened a can of a Levy Whoopass, so why not? Listen, it is same as what it was before and will be again. Honestly, I'm gonna start writing a book like it. You know where they do the night before Christmas and it was silent in the house. I'm gonna do that. Everything at Tottenham before Enoch was good, or not good, but whatever. And then I'm just going to do a kids. I'm going to do different variations of books: a kids version, a fantasy version, a deluded version, a real version, a horror version, and a comedy version. And the comedy version is going to be on parallel with the actual real version. But yeah, getting back to before we talk about Champions League, Puddy, which is Arthur. Listen, I hope you're well, and I hope those tests come back with you all clear. Speak to
Okay.
David Harris. I've still got my Canadian WhatsApp number, so if you've still got my number, when I get to England on Wednesday, that's going to be my number. But I'm also going to have a UK chip, so somehow I'll get my number to you. Or if you still got my Canadian number, just message me on that. I hope all is well. But back to Champions League. We can discuss what players we won't be getting either because we've drawn against them in the Champions League, or Levy's going to offer £763 a lifetime Skywalk pass for one member of their family and a multi-pack of Capri Sun and Skips. So we can discuss that after the draw, because obviously we're going to see the dignitaries are now doing their random waffle that we can't hear. Thank God.
We did get a shout out though. We did get a shout out for for our group and the excitement of it.
Oh, did we?
Yeah.
Oh, good. Oh, I think we got another super. What is that? The first one that Wolves Feast sent, or is that we got whoever? Thank you for the super chats, people. Please feel free to get them in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Oh, it is now about to start.
Yeah. Early.
Yeah.
My
Who would have thought? Who would have thought?
Well, they've all got to fly off to a certain World Cup, haven't they? They've all got to get into the.
No. I think after this they're going to prepare for the Europa Cup draw, and then the,
is that today as well?
Draw. Yeah, everything's done today.
We've got a and it's live.
Oh mate, it is going to be. Oh wait a minute, I've just seen someone. If I've just seen someone in the comments, I saw it. Yes, she is. Yes, she is. The diamond. The diamond is in the building. The diamond is in the building. Zach. Oh, is it actually literally?
First ball.
Here we go. And it is.
Not Arsenal.
Not West Ham.
Whoa! Leipzig out first.
Okay.
Who's got the first ball out? Oh yeah.
Mate, how many pots are there?
8.
That's got to be
400 pots, mate.
There's 400 pots for two, unless that's for Europa.
No, because there's two different draw dates. There's I put it in the private chat.
Why are they drawing the
Manchester City? Manchester City are the first ball out.
They're drawing the
Leipzig.
lowest.
I didn't even see
Leipzig are the first ball out.
So it's Leipzig. So anyone who thought we're going to get Leipzig, your dreams or your nightmares are completely over.
Leipzig, Manchester City.
So we first one is Leipzig, Manchester City. Seriously?
Club Brugge. So we could get this one.
That's.
Let's see who we get, people.
Let's
see who we get.
Ryan, stop putting the teams in the chat, mate. we're behind, mate.
Yeah, we're all behind, Ryan.
Right. Ryan's giving us breaking news.
Yeah.
Cutting edge journalism.
Exactly. At least his sources are good.
Maybe they are. Maybe
Benfica. Benfica.
So it's got to be one of the Milan teams then.
Paris, here we come. I can see it already.
Yeah.
I can see it already.
We will have all the group teams up on the stream for anyone that cannot watch the draw.
Liverpool, we can't be involved in this, so I love the way that you said Ryan stopped putting the teams in the chat, and the first thing he did is put the team in the chat. And he's done it again. Liverpool next out. Ryan, you're a visionary. Go and do the lottery today. Go get your numbers in.
Yeah.
It's Porto, Madrid, or Munich.
£1 lottery thing, Ryan. Go and do that. 1.3 billion.
Okay.
Yeah, do you know what? Ryan's even a few seconds ahead of UEFA. Well, how's he doing?
Yeah.
Real Madrid. Real
Yeah.
Ryan
Madrid.
is doing the draw. Ryan, get us a good team, mate. Get us a good team.
Liverpool,
That's a
Real
really good
Madrid.
point. It's a really good point.
Liverpool,
Real
Real Madrid.
Real Madrid.
Look, it's a good choice.
That's a romantic cup. You feeling all right?
Oh
Yeah.
dear.
For you.
Fuck Liverpool.
Nah, we
As
can't get
many
Oh,
of
here
that.
it
you
comes.
who
Here
watch
it comes. If Iggy's watching,
AC
if
Milan. Here we
if
go.
Iggy's watching,
It's not Tottenham, Liverpool, Ryan. Stop talking nonsense.
it's
Talking
either
waffle.
Porto, Bayern, or us.
Yeah. Talking waffle, Ryan. Talking waffle, bruv.
Oh, here we go.
I said it'd be
I
AC
must
Milan.
admit, my stomach just got in a little knot.
Inter PSG.
My stomach just went into a little knot. And there it is. AC Milan, Iggy.
Tottenham Hotspur.
We
knew
got
it.
AC Milan. I was right.
Oh God.
Ledley King's there going, oh, look, even the King is there. It's like, oh shit, this defense is going to get.
Oh no.
Ledley, can you go back in training, please?
Yeah.
Ledley, get back in training.
The
Well,
Iggy
let's
derby.
face it. Let's just
The
face it.
Iggy derby.
If we remember back in time, Peter Crouch scored a goal. Aaron Lennon went on a run. We drew 0-0 at home, and William Gallas had the game of his life.
Oh dear.
So let's have a look at the draw. But everybody, breaking news. Breaking news. We have AC Milan.
I
Iggy's
just knew it. I knew we
nightmares
would
have
get one
come
with the
true.
Milan teams.
Iggy's nightmare has come true.
The
Iggy's
derby.
phone right now. Iggy's phone right now within the Tottenham Hotspur community is blowing the up. So, how are people in the comments feeling about this? We'll go through it. Is Eintracht Frankfurt versus Napoli?
Oh,
That's going to be a tasty tie.
That's going to be a banger of a game.
That's a tasty tie.
So who's left then? Chelsea, PSG, maybe.
We're still going to see Borussia Dortmund.
So Chelsea could get them.
Or Porto. So it looks like it should be Bayern Munich Chelsea.
Bayern Munich, Chelsea.
Or Bayern Munich Porto. Wait a minute. No, I'm going crazy. It's way too early for me to try and be authoritative or be in the know right now.
Still be City are playing Leipzig.
City,
right?
Leipzig, first of all. No, I didn't say City. Did I? Oh, I don't know what I'm saying. Chelsea.
Yeah, we're not the sharpest tools in the shed most days, especially.
Chelsea have got
Dortmund. Christian Pulisic
Home
goes
team.
back. Oh my God, he's up. He's alive. Danny, you've got the link. If you fancy dropping in.
Do. Danny
Danny
Kyriakou.
Kyriakou. Danny, if you fancy popping in. I don't know where Ryan is.
Ryan's probably on a bus somewhere.
Iggy said he will support Milan in Milan and Tottenham.
Yep.
Yeah, but when you guys were, I was saying, imagine it's 0-0 in Milan and it's still 0-0 in the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Who is he going to support?
Yeah, well, no, he said if it's at Tottenham, we've got the second leg, so he'll be supporting Spurs in the first leg.
No, he's supporting. He says he will support AC in the first leg. We play at home after that.
Who does he want to go through? That's the question.
Well, this is what he said.
PSG, Bayern.
Who's playing Bayern?
PSG.
Jesus Christ.
Inter, Porto. So the full draw: Leipzig, Man City, Bruges against Benfica, Liverpool, Real Madrid, AC Milan, Spurs, Eintracht Frankfurt against Napoli, Dortmund against Chelsea, Inter versus Porto, and PSG versus Bayern Munich.
Oh, that's interesting.
So, how are we feeling? How are people feeling? Yeah. So now we just got to find when our ties are, because like people were saying, they are blocked into
two groups.
Oh, look
yeah.
look who's here! Look who's here! Live from Milan / Spurs.
Hey, morning.
Mate, your dreams / nightmare / catastrophe has come true, brother.
Do you know what? From the moment that draw was made, my phone hasn't stopped pinning, man.
That's what I thought.
You honestly, it's been relentless. I know because from friends over in Milan, they all wanted Spurs, all of them. They said Spurs has got to be. They said Bayern Munich, Man City, Benfica, Porto. Those were the all possible opponents, and out of all the ones available, they said it's got to be Spurs. So they will be happy. I know that for a fact. From our point of view, I don't know, man. For me, it's not great because obviously one will go through and one will go out. Not most ideal. Then you look at it another way. If they'd met someone else, they could have both gone out. So I don't know. What way to look at it.
That's true.
That's the truth. But Iggy, there's some behemoth ties in there as well. So whoever does go through, like you said, what was the last one? Bayern versus PSG.
Yeah, that's a hell of a tie.
PSG, Liverpool, Real Madrid. Look at all these games.
Did you see that Liverpool Real? Jeez.
You would have thought that was a prompt draw. Usually it takes about 17,000 hours to do this draw.
Yeah.
It's amazing what brown paper envelopes do, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, usually the start of the draw.
They have done it, mate. But yes, so Iggy, let's go. So now we've got to play. I've got to do this, Iggy. Like you say, we also have got to do devil's advocate.
Don't ask me what everyone's always going to ask me for the next 3 months.
No. Yeah, I've got to, mate. You've come on to Tottenham on tour. First of all, we're getting exclusives here. It'd be rude of me not to.
Yeah.
I knew I should have just stayed off.
Iggy, well, no, I wasn't saying kind of know what Eugene said. We're in Milan first, 0-0 or 1-1, whatever, a score draw. Let's just say or a 0-0 at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. It's a score draw or goalless. Penalties.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Where are we going? Are you sticking with if it's at Tottenham? It's Tottenham.
I'm walking out, mate. I am walking out. And I'll tell you something else, Brian. If we don't, honestly, if Spurs do not beefing up this squad in January, we won't make it, man. I'll be honest with you. As a Spurs fan, I'm talking here. We won't make it. We need to beat the squad.
There's you were there with your son, weren't you? You were there with your son.
Yeah. He rinsed me all the way home.
Of course, he's Lisa.
He was happy.
You know, Iggy. You know, like you see the half and half scarves, right? You're gonna get a half.
Oh yeah, I'll be buying 3 or 4 of them.
You said, Iggy. You said, "Oh, I hate those scarves. I hate those scarves."
Oh, I'll be buying them. Hypocrisy to the max. I'll be buying a few.
We'll have to get you a half and half shirt, though, mate. No, so you can literally. Listen, you can wear it and then AC score, you lift that side of your jacket. First score, you lift that side of your jacket.
The question is, are we planning a trip in Italy? What are we doing?
Well, but I'm sure Ben will be going because he loves Milan.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Greatest city in the world, in my opinion.
So so this is how it works. The first legs will be played on the midweek of February the 14th, 15th, and February
Valentine's Day.
Yep, 21st and 22nd.
It just gets worse.
Yeah. The second legs will be played across March the 7th and March the 14th and the 15th. So they'll play across consecutive weeks. The first 4 will play 14th, 15th. The second, there'll be 2 games on the 14th, 2 games on the 15th. And then 2 games on the 21st, 2 games on the 22nd. And then they'll do the same. 2 on the 7th of March, 2 on the 8th of March, 2 on the 14th of March, 2 on the 15th of March.
Guys, is it fair to say, though, if you asked every AC Milan fan and if you ask every Spurs fan, that would have been the one that they wanted? Is that fair to say? Out of all the ones that we just seen put together,
yep.
Is that the worst? Is that not the worst of the draws, if that makes sense? Like I said, Liverpool got Real, Man City got Leipzig away. They're all some proper Liverpool, Real Madrid. That's last season's final.
Yeah, correct.
And already that's a knockout. It's insane now. I don't like this. I don't know about you guys. I don't like this format. I want to see these games in the quarters and in the
I'm sure Ronan does as well, mate. I'm sure Ronan didn't really want to see that come out of the type. But I have to say, man, I did not want Milan. I'm man.
Who would you have wanted those?
I wanted Dortmund.
Dortmund. I don't
just
know, man.
because we seem to do a number on them. But listen, like you said, anyone that gets to this stage of the group, it's hard.
Yeah.
They're there on merit. They're there on right. I think Club Brugge is a huge banana peel. A huge,
Yeah, exactly.
huge
People saying Bruges, and I'm like, man, obviously, have you seen them play? They're a decent side.
mate. I keep waxing lyrical about the Canadian they have. That I prayed. I would love it if Tottenham signed him. Tajon Buchanan, I would take him at Tottenham in a heartbeat.
I'd love Tottenham to sign anyone at the moment because
We will. We're going to sign
if that
people on new
doesn't
contracts.
prompt the club to go and spend some money and beefing up on his squad, nothing ever will, man. Nothing ever will. I'm not saying Spurs have to win the Champions League, but you now know that the level of this competition has gone up tenfold. It's not it's no longer group stages now. This is the real deal. The knockout. Look at some of those teams that are going to get knocked out, and they've got good teams, and they're not guaranteed to make it through to the next round. You got a lot. You got a lot of finals in that knockout stage now. A lot of what would make a European Cup final at any standard.
Or semi-finals. Yeah.
That's what we're Spurs competing with. And if that doesn't prompt us to beefing up to bring up the quality of the squad and bringing some players in, nothing ever will, man. Honestly.
We've got to have, well, as we were speaking before about if we were going for Dumfries or Skriniar, at least that's back on the table because obviously we haven't got into Milan. Iggy, has there been anyone with AC Milan we've been, I don't want to say this, linked with or registered interest or monitoring the situation or whatever
Registered interest.
Yep, we have a verbal agreement to discuss a discussion with. Is there anyone in Milan that we are you've heard that we've been looking at?
What? As in Milan players?
As in your team, yeah, AC.
What for? Spurs are looking into them.
Yeah.
I haven't. I'll be honest with you. There's nothing to say that Spurs want any. They're not. Honestly, not even like a rumor. Nothing. There's nothing there. There's no interest from any Milan players from Spurs. None. Ones that we should be looking at, perhaps the left back Theo Hernandez, Rafael Leao is another one. I would say. I mean, even Tomori himself would better our defense. So, you know, Mike Mignon, the goalkeeper, there's some 3 or 4 quality players in that team that I would say that Spurs would benefit tenfold by having them in their team.
Which means we won't. But so yeah, Eugene. I mean, we haven't heard from you, but so what's your overall feeling so far on what we've just witnessed? We'll start with you, Eugene.
Remember, before Iggy jumped on, I said AC Milan would be the one that I would like to see and see how on Iggy will be. But he's on here now, so we know, right? But I'm not too surprised. And I was saying all the while, like Iggy was saying, right? Even the Milan fans wanted Spurs, and I guess that it's not only the Milan fans. Yeah, most of all the unseeded teams for this draw, right? We wanted us because to tell the truth, you look at our squad, right? And if we don't improve in January transfer window, I think we're just gonna be the fodder for everyone to eat. That's how I see it. If we don't improve in the January transfer window, but only time will tell because we still have to put in the equation of the World Cup into this. We do not know what's going to happen to all these teams, right? All these big teams, right, have got players in the World Cup. We do not know what's going to happen to these players in these big teams playing for the World Cup, right? They could lose up to 5 or 6 players from fatigue, injuries, and all that. By the time they come back February and start playing, we do not know. And maybe along the way, Newcastle will snatch up all the good players, paying the wages, pay the salary and paying the wages and paying the transfer demands and all that. And there will be no good players for anyone to try to pick up in January. But like what I've been saying, we have always been linked to players that we never buy because there's always the rumor and links and the gentleman agreement and the agreement to negotiate the agreement, right? And in the day, most probably we'll pick up 2 good players, like, you know. But Brian Dagul, don't forget, right? You have to stand out at Hotspur away again, holding the placard in front of Levy's face, you know, and make sure that you do 2 or 3 wonder players that come in, right?
I will talk about those kind of things after we've heard from Amir, and then we got a question from Sean at Goodwin. Well, I'm going to put up, we'll go around. So Amir, what's your thoughts overall?
I think it's a really good draw. I'll be very honest with you, and I think it's a good draw for Milan as well. Like what Iggy was saying, I think that's he's looking at some of the other teams that we could have got, and we avoided them. And you're looking at some of the other clashes in there: the Liverpool Reals, the Paris Munichs. Those are huge games. Like you said, the European finals. So the fact that we've got AC, I think it puts us in a good position to get to the quarterfinals. It's up to us now how we take it forward. Now we could rest on our laurels and not sign anyone and not bring anyone in and come to the game unprepared, or we could take plan B and we could go and sign a few players that are going to help that starting 11 and the squad as a whole, and get ready for February and March time, because that's what we need. We need to be prepared. For me, this season is all about winning a trophy. So we have to get the job done at Forest on Wednesday, and get prepared for February and March. And obviously, we've got to stabilize our position in the top 4. We've always got to keep an eye out for that. But I'm actually delighted with this draw. I think we could have done a lot worse. A lot worse. And that's not being unkind to AC. I know Milan are a great side, great history, European Cup winners, multiple occasions. I'm just not sure that the squad this season is the same as those teams 10, 20 odd years ago and before that. I don't know how good they are in the Italian league. They're obviously they're not in the top 3 at the moment. So
second.
They're second. I thought Atlanta was second.
I was about to say,
They overtook him last night.
Oh, really? Oh, right.
Atalanta lost to Napoli, and Milan winning their game against Spezia meant that Milan overtook them and go second place. 6 points behind Napoli.
Oh, wow. So in that case, I'm not too updated on the Italian league.
No,
that seems like they're doing
That's
well.
not here, buddy.
Yeah, no, it seems like they're doing well then. Seems like they're doing well. But I still think we've got a chance. We just got to make sure that we get some business done in January and put our trust in Conte. And I think obviously, with his know-how of the Italian league, we've got a very good chance.
So we'll go around the table. We've got a question that I started here from Sean Goodwin. And we'll start with you, Amir, then we'll work our way around to Eugene, Iggy, then we'll go Nick, Barry, Sean, Phil, myself, and Ben. So, do you guys think we can win the Champions League?
No.
If we get 2 centre backs, I thought this was going to be a quick question. 2 centre backs, 1 win back, especially with the teams getting knocked out in the last 16. Amir,
it will give us a better chance in the league and in the domestic cups if we get those players. 100%. I think our focus has to remain first and foremost to do well in the cup. So I agree with that, Amir. I think Nottingham Forest. This is where my dilemma is, and I spoke about it this very morning. I said, do we go out and try and play the best team possible against Nottingham Forest with the risk that we could perhaps leave something on the road against Leeds, or do we make the changes against Nottingham Forest, given how close the Leeds game is after Forest, and prioritise stabilising the top 4, like you guys rightly say? I'm a bit torn at that, because if the Champions League isn't, listen, it's a priority, of course it is, but is it more of a priority than the other ones? Realistically speaking, the answer to that question is I don't think we're going to win the Champions League. I don't think Milan's going to win the Champions League either, just to be clear what I'm trying to say here. I think our focus has to be, first of all, to be better against the top 6 in this country, which at the moment we've failed every single time. Try get those players that Sean's saying, or those positions covering certainly, and try and get a bit closer to the guys at the top, because otherwise we won't only have to watch trying to catch the guys in front, but we also got to watch what's coming up from behind. Oh yeah, do you know what I mean? So, so you got to do the Newcastles. Man United will come back, and it's a good old battle for the top 4 this season, and we need to steer clear of that and really stay right up there.
Eugene. Oh, before we talk about Eugene, Eugene, I just got to bring up a super chat because Phil P has won the Super Chat of the Year award on Tottenham Tour with the question to this, which was obviously we've been 2 players short since 1882. Big up.
Woo!
I
Big up,
personally know
Phil.
that one. That was quite a funny one.
Woo!
Over to you. Thanks for the Super Chat, Phil, buddy. Back to you, Eugene.
To tell the truth, right? The upgrades, of course, we need the upgrades, right? And to tell the truth, I think when the draw was made and now we see what's happening, I think this draw is actually being designed for M City to win, because most of the big clubs are being knocked out in just around 16, right? Imagine there's no Real Madrid there and there's no Bayern or PSG there, so the road is being paid for M City, right? That's how I see it. And for us, like what Iggy says, is very true. I don't think we'll win the Champions League, right? With the squad we have, even if we bring in another 2 more centre backs and a winger, which we know it's always if, right? There's always the if, right? And what Iggy is saying about the Carabao Cup is that my feeling is that, of course, Conte is going to rest a lot of players for the Carabao Cup, because I want us to go all out for the Carabao Cup, because it's one of the tournaments. I mean, the cups that we realistically have a chance, right, to win. But with Levy there, what do you think, bro? He wants top 4. So most probably he'll be instructed, right? Please, right, rest players, and most probably he's gonna be forced to play Jet Spence in the Carabao Cup.
As long as he's playing in the Carabao Cup and not against AC Milan.
Yeah. But how I see this now is that, of course, there's chances, right? Like I said earlier, we do not know. We haven't put in the World Cup factor into it, right? We haven't put in the transfer window into it, right? And there's 2 more football games to play before everything shuts down for club tournaments, and we'll move on to the World Cup, and that's a whole another kettle or bucket of fish that we most probably will have to talk about later. Yeah.
Amir.
I tell you what, Dagul. I think that if you add a creative midfielder into those 3 players that he put up there, 2 centre backs, and we're talking about quality here. If you brought in 2 quality centre backs, a wing back, and a creative midfielder, I would say that we have a shot at fighting for the Champions League. Though, because I do think that we're just missing that bit of the jigsaw, and like Phil said, we've been missing it since 1882. But we need to fill those gaps. We've seen how other teams have done that, and it's been successful for them. So there's no reason why it wouldn't work for us. With regards to the Forest coming up and playing our strongest side, I think we should play our strongest side, to be honest. And Eugene, what you were saying about Levy telling Conte, if Levy's telling Conte who he should play on a Wednesday night or on a Saturday or Sunday, then that's wrong. That shouldn't be happening. It should be up to Conte completely whether he wants the rest of the player.
I mean, that's the reason why Jose and Levy went up for that same reason. The Southampton game that led before the cup final, that's what it was all about. That's what his sacking was all about. Because Jose was like, Jose wanted the final. He wanted to win the trophy. But he was like, no, top 4 is the priority. And this is where the ambition of the board is very telling, and always has been. I never wanted Poch gone. I never wanted Jose gone. And I certainly don't want Conte gone. So I don't know, buddy, because I what outcome do we honestly see, even at the distance? What's going to be different with Conte compared, as in the outcome, what will eventually will happen that didn't happen with Poch, Jose, and all the other guys before? That's my only concern, man. And I truly hope he gets the backing that I feel that he deserves, because the club and honestly, and the fans, after watching them yesterday at the stadium, they deserve so much better than what we're being fed, honestly.
They do. No, I completely agree with what you're saying there, Iggy. And it comes down to Levy's ego, right? The sacking before the final, the ruining Jose's record, not even giving him a chance to go and get the cup. It comes down to ego. The question is, have you burnt too many bridges with the fans, Levy? Right? So the way Jose was sacked, the way Yo was sacked, the way Poch was sacked, all of them to a man were great managers for Tottenham Hotspur and Levy's issue. So with Conte at the helm, Can Conte manage the situation and get exactly what he wants out of Levy without Levy interfering? And then maybe we've got a shot at something at the end of the season.
But I mean, you should know that, right? Levy doesn't care. He only cares about himself, right? And his decisions. That's how we feel, right? That's why we've been going through all this we call emotional turmoil throughout the years being a Spurs fan, right? So if he really cared, right, he wouldn't have sacked Poch in the first place. He would have stuck with Poch and gave him his rebuild. But no, like you said, his ego has taken over all the time, right? Conte, to tell the truth, right? Remember when we went through the stages of what? All the stages of grief and all that for the 70 odd days of getting Nuno in, right? Most of the time, that time I was doing shows, right? That's 1 year ago. I was shouting for Howell, right? Maybe Eddie Howe would be a good chance, right, to play the game, the type of football we want. But no, and then we end up with Paratici and bring in Nuno, and then he will make us proud, right? Yeah, we were proud, right? And then the day, what happened, right? And then when the chants in the stadium started, what did he do, right? Knee jerk, bring in Conte. So now we have Conte, and to tell the truth, the fans predominantly love him, right? We know we love him, right? Because we as fans now see him, he's our last bastion, right, of getting us something. And if he screws that up,
one thing I do want to say, believe me, as much as I do love a good Levy bashing, and there'll be plenty of time for that, even in this stream, I want to deal with the question that we asked. Then I want to bring up a comment by Paddy, and then we could go all wherever it wants to go. I was going to say to Nick, do you reckon we're going to win the Champions League with those players? But he's obviously got to take a call. So Ben, we'll do you, then myself, and then I want to bring up Paddy's quote, and then we can just go wherever we want to take it. But with that comment, Ben, with I think it was a couple of centre backs and a wing back, do you reckon we could win the Champions League?
No, realistically, unless we sign the greatest players in the world, we're not winning the Champions League. Conte has not gone that far in the Champions League. For him to take a team that is absolutely shocking and win the Champions League would take a bigger miracle than the story of Hanukkah. It would take a bigger miracle than parting the Red Sea. You would need the stars to align and then some for Tottenham to win the Champions League this year. There is too much work that needs to be done on this team. We have too many passengers that are just not good enough. We just got to take it game by game at the end of the day. We cannot expect anything in the Champions League. If we get incredibly lucky, I see us getting to the semi-finals. We have to be so lucky. There are too many teams that are better than us. Real Madrid are better than us. Manchester City are far better than us. Liverpool showed that they're better than us yesterday for the most part, even though we could have got a point out of the game. There are too many teams that are better than us, and we can't beat all these teams. We're going to fall at some point, so I just don't see it happening.
Yeah, so for me, I'm pretty much the same with you. Where it says those players, I think it's clear to see that our defence needs open heart surgery, complete open heart. Put a defibrillator in, whatever terminology you want to use. It's gutted. It's gutted. It's done. Like I said, I put a few things on Facebook yesterday and Twitter saying between Dyer and Davies, they've almost been with us for 2 decades. 2 decades. And nothing. And at other big clubs, these players are gone. Like we've tried to win with you. We've got a job to do. Unfortunately, thank you for your service, but we need to improve.
Yeah.
Because you've taken us as far, like managers say, they go, I've taken the club as far as I can go. But we'll give them new contracts. And you look at it, Perisic played, I think he had a good game yesterday. Could have scored a couple, should have maybe taken his chances better. But he looked a lot more fluid than he has done recently, and his determination was there. Sessegnon, who I've tried to defend, had an absolute mare yesterday. Emerson, I don't even want to discuss. I mean, his crosses. I mean, some of them in his passes. And Iggy will know, and you'll know, Ben, when you're in the ground, once he crosses the ball and it goes into the middle of nowhere, just like the groans and the moans. Longley. So for me, those centre backs and wing backs that would have to come in would have to be top draw. And if they are top draw, they're going to cost money. And if they are going to cost money, we know what happens. But not only that, the kind of players we do want are probably in the Champions League. Why are they going to sell to another Champions League team? Before we do Paddy's question, Nick, your thoughts on that comment about if we sign those two centre backs and a wing back? Can't remember if
we don't need anyone. We got great defenders. We got a great squad. We got no injuries.
So there we go. And do you know what, Nick? We'll start with you and go the other way around. Go you, Amir,
Okay.
Eugene is back, Iggy. And I've got to say, Paddy, partner, some of his tweets over the last 24, 48 hours have been very. He's not in or out. He's very direct sometimes with his tweets. And some of his tweets that he's putting out recently are showing key indicators of someone that is very on the fence, that this is unacceptable. I'm not saying that's what everyone should be doing, but Paddy is now, rather than not saying anything, he's. People seem to forget that you are allowed to voice your concerns on the football club.
Yeah.
You are allowed to say this isn't good enough. You are allowed to say. I mean, one of his tweets this morning, I think, was, listen, if these players don't have the heart or the mentality and they only want to turn up for one half football, get out of the football club. Thanks for your service. Piss off. Bye-bye. We need to, and this is what we've got to work. We've got 2 games left. 2 games left before, obviously, the World Cup. Going full strength for Forest and Leeds. Now, to that, is this going to go quite deep? When you say full strength, does that mean putting you both fully strength teams out? Does it mean go
Your
full
best
strength?
11 for both games.
Yeah, but mate, you could read that as well, as in go full strength for the Cup. But play people's like Spence. Play some of these players so you can rest and see what Foster can do. Because I want Fraser Foster in goal for Leeds. I want him in goal for Leeds. I think the time has come. We signed this guy, and for a long time, Hugo Lloris has not had any competition. Galini weren't competition. Hart weren't competition. Gazzaniga weren't competition. He's just, if I'm fit, I play. And it allows his form to dip again with his kicking yesterday, almost the 3rd goal. And it's enough for me now. It's enough for me. I love that man. Best goalkeeper I've seen in my lifetime. I only caught the tail end of Ray Clements, who I'd say is the next top goalkeeper we've had. I love Derek Torsfeld. I loved Paul Robinson's my favourite goalkeeper just because of his interaction with the fans that he had and everything. But what does this question mean to you? And would you go literally? I know Amir said it. We're going to start with you, Nick, and then literally go round and end up with Ben and me. What do you read into that comment? And what do you do for these next 2 games?
I think, look, I think for me, it's the best 11 players in terms of that. So that means, probably Kulu would start then against Forest on Wednesday. What will happen is another thing. I don't think there was another comment someone put. I don't think Conte sees the League Cup as priority. And I wouldn't be shocked if Forster comes in, if Tanganga comes in, if Hill starts, if even Sarr starts. This is the type of game where if we're really looking at, the most important thing is we need to go in to the Leeds game next Saturday with them all being fresh. And I think that means that we need to not have a free throw of it. I remember when, I don't know whether you remember, Spurs played Wycombe Wanderers in the FA Cup during lockdown, and there was Kane, Son, and Bale and everyone else on the bench, right? Bale started. So I think that there will be rotation for Wednesday. I think I'd like to think Spence gets a chance in that game, and we rest the likes of. Skip comes in as well. We rest the likes of Bentancur or Højbjerg or both. We rest Perisic. We rest Kane. We rest our best right wing back, Emerson Royale. But I don't know. Maybe we don't. Iggy's like, what?
Stop it, man. Rest Kane, rest Højbjerg, rest Bentancur. I mean, we might as well just not even bother turning up. Come on,
I still would say play the kids.
Well, you know what? Wait, we'll go. Amir, you go next. We're going to go round, and then so what do you read into for Forest and Leeds?
I want to go full strength, Dagul. I tell you, the Carabao Cup, the Carling Cup, whatever you want to call it these days, it is a trophy that we haven't seen in, over a decade. So for me, it's a few matches away from winning it. We're in it. We need to play our full strength squad. We need to go with Kulu, with Kane, with all our top players, with Bentancur, with Højbjerg. And at the end of the day, it's two more games until the World Cup. So some of the players will be having a break, not many of them, that being said. But, their focus will change. We've got to have their focus up until the final whistle at Leeds, and then they can go off and do what they've got to do for their countries. But I want full focus for these games. Only 2 wins will be good enough for me, in my eyes. You go with a full strength side against Forest. You'd hope that they'd, by half time, although with us it's never the case, but hopefully nick a goal or 2 before half time. And then if it gets to the 70th, 80th minute and he wants to rest a few of the players like Kane and like this and that, that's fine. Then bring on your kids, as they say. But resting players for Forest, no, I don't want to see any of that.
Eugene.
To tell the truth, right, I would rather them be rested, right, because I think the Leeds game will be much more important, and I really want to see the depth of our squad go out and have a run, right, to give actually the other players a chance to actually show what they have, and actually give Conte more choices to pick other players when we need them. Because to tell the truth now, we've never given the rest of the players some chance because Conte has never had what called the choice, right, to put on players because he needs his best 11 most of the time, and our best 11 has been decimated until now. I think we only have got our best 6 on the field, right? And like what Nick's been saying, right? Apart from having Royale on, I would rather have Doherty on because maybe Doherty need the run of games too. A lot of players need the run of games, right? Even Bissouma needs the run of games. If you can rest them, I'll take it, right? But my only worry is that most probably Kane will have to play because we don't have strikers up there to actually be more effective to score the goals, right? And
Can I just
unless
say, Eugene, that this is a great point by Paddy again at the bottom. If Spence is being loaned out, we're being led to believe he might not even start tomorrow. Oh, sorry, Wednesday because of cup ties.
Yeah,
So
but the thing is, even he might even be on the bench. But if you do have Doherty playing, then you can't play Spence, right? So, like I said, our depth of squad is so bad until that the choices that what do we have unless we're going to bring in players like the youth, right, to match it in. We've never seen Conte do that in any games at all, right? But he will try to pick it around, move it around. But I will do. I said maybe Mora, Kane up front, or maybe give Decky a few more games to run out, right? To bring back his form, to bring his fitness back up to higher levels, right? But the way I see it is that like I've been saying, the priority, right? I would love to have a chance to be putting out a full squad, a full strength squad, right, to play against Forest, to go for the Carabao Cup because we do need a cup, right? It doesn't matter, I mean, I will still take the Carabao Cup as the League Cup as one of the major cups that we need to win. But at the moment now, our squad being decimated like that, and with Leeds games coming up, and just the previous loss to Liverpool, right? We can't lose to Leeds, honestly. But at home, we do have a better chance against Leeds. But you never know because Leeds they do play well, and I think if they are, I'm not sure whether they're playing this Wednesday or Tuesday or not for the Carabao Cup, right? If they are too, then maybe it will level out and everybody plays their best team. And when it comes back until the weekend games, we are back to the level playing field, right? But of course, only Conte. Well, we can't read what Conte is going to do. So we'll have to sit and wait and see what happens in the next few days during the press conferences, right? Because don't forget, maybe he'll need to rest Bentancur too, right? Bentancur. Is it Bentancur? Yeah, Bentancur. Right, he'll need to rest him too because maybe he's Too many games coming up. Fatigue is coming up. Going to play in this game, but like I said before, right? Only Conte will know during the training on that, and then most probably we'll get an inkling of whatever is going to be who's going to be playing in the next game during the press conferences that Conte puts out nowadays. Yeah, that's how.
That was a real game show music there. It's like Iggy was just about to come on. Introducing
Bloody
Iggy. Your thoughts on Pade's comment? I've got to say, I love this side-on profile you're displaying whilst.
No, do you know what it is?
It looks like you're thinking
I'm holding up my phone and it's on charge, and that's as far as it can go. Otherwise, I'd have it here in front of me.
He's showing his Tottenham side. The other side is the Milan side.
Yeah.
He's on a Milan stream on the other side.
Between now and Valentine's Day, you know, this is a long few months. But do you know what, guys? We're already decimated as it is. That's the first thing. We're decimated as it is. We can't rest Kane. There's no two ways about it. We can rest Kane. And do you know what? If we was in a position where we was in a situation, that we had a cup game now, a league game, a Champions League game, and another league game after that, I would almost guarantee it, and I'll say, yeah, you know what? We need to make the changes. Now, we're not in that situation. We've got 2 games left before the break. So the priority has to remain these 2 games. Me personally, make some changes where you can afford to make the changes and where the percentages of the squad, of the changes that you're about to make, doesn't bring the percentages down of the level of the squad. The fact that we're wincing at the thoughts of Tanganga, Gil, and whatever have you not, all these other players that we mentioned, Sanchez, we wince at the thought of these guys playing because we know that they're not to their level. And that, as soon as you know that these guys are not to their level, you need to get rid. You need to get rid. There's no point having them in a squad if you cannot rotate and the level of your team doesn't drop. Once that happens, you know they're not good enough. So you already know in your head they're not good enough. So why make those changes and risk going out so early of the cup? Question number 1. The second is you cannot rotate players like Kane because you don't have anyone else right now that's fit to play in this. So you need to play the Kanes. So for me, the rotation needs to happen, but needs to happen smart. Rotate the goalkeeper, fine. I don't have a problem with Foster coming in. Where you can rotate Doherty, bring him in, because I've never seen a manager take off 2 wing-backs to replace him with another 2 wing-backs in a match. To do one is all right, but to do both of them, you know already that their level is not there. So Doherty, bring him in. Skip, where you can in the midfield. Right now, we've got 4 fit players, and the Skip's a good alternative, as is Bissouma to Bentancur and Højbjerg. Perhaps one of the 2 can start there. But where you can't make the changes, specifically at the back, because even the ones that are currently playing now are not good enough. So imagine rotating the ones for players that are even worse. It's suicide, guys. You can't make those changes. It would be totally suicide. So you have to stick the same 3. The goalkeeper, right now, I don't know if it's the right time, and I'll tell you why. We've just come from a defeat. We go out of the against Nottingham Forest. That puts humongous pressure for the Leeds game at home in front of your own fans. Can't be doing that. We cannot be doing that. So after a defeat, the most important game becomes the next one, because you have to make that a win. And then we make that win against Nottingham Forest. That gives us a different momentum going into Leeds. We go and lose that Nottingham Forest match. You got a real bad rut. Now you potentially could be going into a rut, which would last a month, that you'd have to return to overturn that, because we won't be playing against until Boxing Day. So we have to be very smart with the changes that we make, guys.
Ben, you then me, mate. You then me with what? And then we've got another question from Paddy, who is on fire with good questions today.
Paddy might as well be running the show.
but yeah, so Ben, what's your thoughts on the next 2 games and how we approach it?
We full strength, all guns blazing. As what we've got left. These 2 games will define who we can buy in the new year. We must be in a good position come the turn of the year, and we must get forward in the cup competitions, because Conte is going to want to win a trophy this year. No doubt about it. I don't know who, I forgot who said it, because he said it's not a priority. If it's a piece of silverware, it's a priority for Conte. And if we're not going with the manager's priorities, he might as well fucking leave at this rate. He wants to win a trophy. If he can get a trophy this year, it's another reason for people to come to the club because it shows progress in his sort of project. So we're going to have to do what the manager wants. We have to do what is necessary. And all guns blazing. The best team available at the time, play it. And let's see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, for me, that whoever it was that put that comment, like you said, Ben, it was the first thing I wanted to highlight. I grew up with Tottenham, and my dad grew up with Tottenham, being synonymous with the cups. Like, you wanted to avoid Tottenham at all costs in the domestic cups because we were known for these fixtures. This one-off games. You didn't want to play Tottenham. That's been stripped away from us. If you gave me right now an assurance that we win the Carabao Cup, but you don't know if we'll qualify for Champions League or how far we'll get, I'm taking the Carabao Cup. Right here, right now, I'm taking it. And the fact that that's been taken away from us as well. And I think what Nick and Iggy, or it was Iggy that said it as well, will happen. We are going to see rotation against Forest because he will prioritise the league. And when I say he, I think we know who I'm talking about. He will tell him to prioritise the league. You are going to see. I don't think after I can't remember who said it in the comments about Spence maybe going out on loan. If we don't see Spence, I think that literally seals that he's going out on loan. Literally, because then he'll be barred for cup. They won't want to risk him being cup tied in that cup. Should they be in it in other cups? I think you're gonna. I don't see how you can start Eric Dyer against Nottingham Forest. I just don't. This is the problem I have with Tottenham Hotspur right now, mate. I don't care.
Sanchez,
I don't care. I don't.
That's what we're looking at. No. That's what we're looking at.
Yeah, I know it's what we're looking at, but the thing is, what I hate with this football club is players can make mistakes. It's just like, oh yeah, just don't do it again. And then when they do it again, all right, listen, you've made it two in a. Just try not to. Oh, you've done it again. Carry on. There's no.
But we will be replacing him with someone that makes double the amount of mistakes.
But if he does, Sanchez, like I said, I've tried to defend him and say when he plays in very small bunches of games, he's okay. It's when he plays consistently for a long time. But he's even letting me down on that now. But there has to be some kind, and I keep saying this word recently, accountability within the whole club, not just that prick up there, the whole club. And you've got to, if you make a mistake and you keep repeating it, we're not going to tolerate this. You're going to get dropped. Sanchez may come in and do.
I'm above.
Yeah. Oh no, I know this.
Yeah, no, you know.
That's the thing. But we can't say that I'm negative. I'm toxic. I'm not a real fan. I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't support Spurs. I'm plastic. You name it. More orthodox back to me. But it comes to the point now where it's just like, oh, they can make a mistake. Hugo Lloris, we heard Callum Wilson say we were told in training just to keep when those long balls go, just run into put him under pressure. I think you are 100% seeing Fraser Foster in goal. 100%. I think you're going to see a change, mate. You've seen it as well with Canada. Alphonso Davies has now got injured. Our star player, like the big name player in Canada, he might not be making it to the World Cup. You're telling me against Nottingham Forest that in the Carabao Cup third round, some of these players are not going to be going, right, listen, it's a Carabao Cup if we go out. I'm not. People that aren't going to the World Cup, Brian Hill won't be going with Spain, pay him. Decky ain't going to the World Cup, play him. Bissouma ain't going to the World Cup, play him.
I don't care who's going to the World Cup, Brian. My priority right now is Spurs. These guys will have time to play the World Cup. I don't care about safeguarding a player that could be missing out on the World Cup at the expense of my team potentially winning or losing the game. No way. The only thing I will say about Kulu is that he won't be able to play two 90-minute games so close together. Given
That's a good point. That's a good point.
So you'd have to pick and choose with him. I would understand the caution. But with the rest of them, I'm sorry, man. Otherwise, in that case, you can make that. You can say that same reasoning for Harry Kane. Don't play him because we risk losing him for England.
Let me just say as well. What I was saying just there is how I think the club are going to be handling this. Not me. I know what's going to happen. We're going to play I think the only person that's going to start will be the only definite change is to be Fraser Foster, because that's what he would have been told. You're playing Carabao Cup, FA Cup at the beginning. There's no, but that's where we go, and they are going to go full throttle, and we're going to have to go into January. But before we bring up Paddy's next question, we got a super chat in, didn't we, Ben?
Yes, we have.
Thank you from the Empress.
Of herself, so big up,
Always a pleasure.
big up.
See you,
Big up,
always a
everyone.
pleasure.
Good.
And the next question is Paddy. Do you know what? This time we're going to go Ben, me, and go around that way. We're gonna rotate here, bit of variety. So Ben,
Yeah.
Paddy, realistically, and I think I'm going to say that Paddy meant to put that in very big uppercase, underline, bold, italic.
Yeah.
Realistically, who do we buy in January? What areas would you cover? Remember, all areas concerned won't be covered in January. So let's not list 15 players we need to go and get. We'll start with you, Ben.
We need the same 3 areas we needed in the summer: a centre back, a right wing back, and a midfielder, a creative midfielder. So personally, I'd love to see a De Vrij coming in. We need a player with experience in a centre of a back three, because Eric Dyer is shit. We need a player like a Dumfries. We won't get both Dumfries and De Vrij. That's not happening. Not sending 2 of their players. And we need a James Maddison. Those are the 3 players we need to make our squad more whole, so we can change things if we want to go to more of a number 10 route, if we want to play another set piece taker. Because if Sonny and Perisic are out, we got no set piece taker. So Perisic now has to play both Wednesday and Saturday and against Leeds, because we've got no one that can take set pieces.
Hurricane.
We need another set piece taker.
He can take him just fucking terribly. So where you say with that, Ben, for realistically?
Realistically, I think we should go for James Maddison. I don't see why we can't get him. He wants apparently that James Maddison would jump at a chance to come to Tottenham. A De Vrij would be brilliant. I think he would come to Tottenham for 15 million quid. He hasn't got much left on his contract. Get him in. And a right wing back. I think those 3 players are what we do. I think they're very realistic of getting those 3 players in, because our squad is as bare as it can get. It's see-through. It's like a piece of salami that's see-through. It's what we have to. That's, for me, that is being realistic.
Okay, so that's yours. I'll quickly go here now. I don't think I want James Maddison badly. So does Ryan Isaacs-Kennard. Ryan is going crazy for him and has been for ages. But I just don't see it happening, because Newcastle will come back in, who are going to open the checkbook out if they're still where they are. Newcastle are going to spend Liverpool, rumoured, and this is where we stumble. We don't strike when we could have had the chance. What I've said with this window, realistically, and I'm sticking with it, we need to stop this defence. We need to stop this rotting defence that is just falling apart. And for me, if we just went out and got Skriniar, if we signed 1 player this window, and it was Milan Skriniar, I will go on all streams and say this has been an absolutely sensational window. And why will I say it? Because rather than buying a bit part centre back, a bit part wing back, a bit part, if you're going to go out and spend all the money, or spend money, I would rather you went and spent it on 1 player that walks into this team. Like, no, we need to mould you in, or you need to understand passages of play. If it's a Skriniar, comes in, played this under Conte, knows what to do, reminds me of Nemanja Vidic, comes in. Can you imagine what the greats of Tottenham Hotspur would do? A Dave Mackay, a Gary Babbitt, a Ledley King. Forget how talented they were. I mean, their passion and desire for the football club and the way that the club means something. They wouldn't let this defence be doing this. And if they weren't doing this, in the changing room, there would be absolute craziness. So for me, even if we just sign 1 player, if it's a player of real substance, like a Skriniar or a Maddison, then I'll be like, do you know what? You can't argue with it. That's a good window because we brought someone that walked in. But if I had the choice, like a wave my magic wand right now, it's Milan Skriniar. Nick?
Well, what realistically, who do we buy? I don't know. Realistically, anyone. This is the issue: is that we've sat here thinking about you know, there was obviously the talks with Malinowski. There's the talk about the swap deal with Dumfries. I don't, you know, I think we need a replacement for Dyer. We need a replacement for Davis. We need 2 wing back. That defense is the priority in January. If I'm being honest, it's not. We can talk about Maddison. Nothing will happen until the summer, if it does at all. But where we're going to sign top quality replacements in January, I don't know. You know, Skriniar, Dumfries, I don't know. I don't think they're going to, you know, obviously there'll be the Bastoni rumours coming out again. So, look, I don't know. If I'm honest, I really don't know. But it has to be that defence. I think we're fine in midfield. We're fine up front as long as they're fit. It's that defence, man. That's what's killing us. And you know, I don't see how we. You know, we probably need 5 or 6 defenders. That's what we need to fix that defence, and that's where the priority should be. Who it is, God knows. It'll probably be one for the future and someone that's 48 years old and everything else that's going to come in. But so I'm not going to sit there and talk about who, what, where, how. But it has to be that defence, man. If we're going to challenge for anything, it's that defence. And you know, in the summer, that's when we need to look at a keeper. That's when we need to look at attacking midfielder. But I don't think it's going to be fixed in January at all. Sadly, but that's what needs to be done. Is that defence?
Amir.
Not much to say, lads. Honestly, not much to say because it's all been said. You guys have covered it all. I'll be honest with you. It's that defense. That defense needs some serious DIY. And I pray Paratici and the backroom staff and all his scouts are out hard at the moment and trying to find, you know, maybe, okay, Skriniar and these guys, it's hard to convince them. Find me the next Skriniar. Find me the guy who's playing, you know, like a Guardiola or someone like that, who's still young and has got a lot of years in him left. You know, if that's part of the criteria that they want for the player, you know, okay. But to win things, to bring silverware back to White Hart Lane, you just got to sort it out in January. Because you're not going to win. You can forget about winning Carabao Cups. You're not going to get. We won't get top 4 with the defense staying the way it is at the moment.
Yeah. Sorry. Breaking news: Barcelona versus Manchester United.
That's gonna be tasty. Really tasty.
Who's worse? Who's worse?
Let's see the filth. Let's hope the filth gets someone like Juventus or what are the other teams that actually dropped out of the Champions League?
Atletico Madrid.
They had to play this round first against the teams that dropped down. They played in the second. They went in the second in the group. Then after this round, right, then they will draw again to play against the other tier groups. So,
mate, I would have loved it if Arsenal got Barcelona.
If Barcelona beats Manchester United, then there'll be a chance for Barcelona also.
Barcelona not been looking great though this season. I've caught a bit
not in Europe.
They're not looking great. They're not looking great. Yeah, United. You never know which United's going to turn up, do you? So
that's true. Yeah, they got smashed by Aston Villa last night. So that's
exactly.
That's so weird.
You just don't know. But lads, I'm gonna have to love you and leave you all.
No worries, brother.
Got to head out.
I'm here to speak to you later on, Aki. Aki, when are you in London?
24th of November, I'll be landing.
Awesome. We'll see you then.
We will see you then, Aki.
Take it easy,
Aki,
lads.
before you go, plug your channel that you do for yourself.
Oh, sure. So, guys, if you want to see a bit more of the Holy Land, get to know Israel a little bit better, you can hop on over to Israel Uncovered. I post videos there of the most beautiful places to visit, stuff like that. So please head on over, check it out, and come on, Tottenham. Let's do this. On to Forest now. Come on.
See you later, broski.
See you later, lads.
Eugene, we'll get yours and Iggy's answer.
Okay. What areas would you cover? Of course, this is our defense, right? For me, we need two center backs, not one, right? If we get two center backs, we can get rid of Dyer and he wouldn't have to play again, right? And of course, we need and we need the two wing backs, right? One on the left, one on the right. Okay, that actually would be effective for us. And of course, like what Brian's been saying, we do need someone in the middle to be creative, right? Of course, someone like Madison or Malinovsky, right? Or someone who can take free kicks and all that. But when you talk about realistically, who we're gonna buy in January, realistically, we don't buy players in January. Most probably, we'll loan them with an obligation to buy them. That's realistically what Spurs does. But being a Spurs fan for so long, we know, right? Nothing's realistic for Spurs, right? Nothing's realistic. There are all the links, all the rumors, and all the agreements of the agreements for the agreements to negotiate. So realistically, we should get people in. But realistically, we've been sitting here so long and been waiting for realistically players to come in realistically.
Yeah.
So
There you go, Piggy.
Very realistic. Who do we buy in January, man? I would like to see a versatile defender come in. Someone's got a little bit of pace about him, because one thing we found out in yesterday's game that Núñez, right from the off, was causing us problems with the pace scanning behind. And the three, when you put Romero to one side and you actually get to look at properly the other three, one thing that they badly lack is pace. And this is the reason why we don't. Yeah, I agree, Toxic. And this is the reason why we don't play high up the pitch, because none of them want to get done for pace. So what you do when you know you've got a weak defence, naturally, if you're a centre midfielder, you drop off to try and protect those boys. But what happens by doing that is that you're not able to help the attack. So yeah. So the defence has to be. You're right. You boys are right. The defence has to be the priority to try and bring us a better quality defender in there. Who? Inter Milan are not going to sell their centre backs. Not now that they're through to the next round of the Champions League, and there's no way they will deprive themselves of that. Napoli have got Kim G, but they're top of the league of their in Serie A. They've just drawn Frankfurt in the next round of the cup, so they could potentially go through. They're better. Napoli are better than Frankfurt on paper at least. So they won't sell their best assets. So right now, to go individually, right, Juichi is bang on. It's going to be a loan deal for a player that's probably not getting a lot of football at their club right now. That could potentially better us. So the defence, right wing back, how many we're going to have? We know that we can't make one decent right wing back from the ones that we got. Bring someone in, that means you've got to get rid of some of the ones that you've got already on the list. That's going to be tough going in 1 month. And the attacking mid is just a bit of creativity. Now, if Malinovsky comes in at £13 million, that's a steal, man. It gives us a little bit more variation to what we currently got. So he's a similar sort of player that Kulusevski is. He likes to play on that right hand side, left foot. He's got majestic left foot on him. So somebody like that would be brilliant. But you're right, Maddison would be ideal. Leicester City, someone like Leicester, I don't know if we get it. If we don't act now, though, to get him and leave it to the summer with 1 year left on his contract, I think that Brian, you're right. Newcastle are going to go in and cover him in gold, and we won't get into a bidding war with anyone, let alone someone like Newcastle. Yep. So we need to start acting early, and let's hope that Paratici's already lay some of these foundations out. So when as soon as January starts, goes bang, 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 get these players in. Will it happen? I don't know, man. With Tottenham, is always a mystery. Will it happen? Will it not? Will it happen? The hope that it happens.
So do you know what? I just got a couple of things in closing to say, because we're going to wrap up and then plug channels. When you mentioned Napoli, it just reminded me of something. You know that this one's going to sicken me. You remember that little thing goes on that when players leave Tottenham, they win trophies?
Yeah.
Tanguy and Dembele is in line for the Scudetto. And if they beat Tanguy and Dembele, could be added to that list. And the other thing I will say, people are saying, and I've seen it, talking about protests and whatever. I'm just going to deal with this right here, right now. Listen, what I will say, people know I'm coming home, and it's not just me. There is a big crowd of us that have done this. Nick was with me at the training ground. Iggy's been at the training ground with me.
Training ground's not the place to do it.
No,
though,
it's not. It's not the place to do it. But we.
it's in the stadium because that knee-jerk reaction got us Conte.
Yeah, but what I was saying is what I've been discussing already is people already saying started January, and the whole plan with it last time when we did it in January was we were going to go quiet until near the end, until right near the end, and then obviously all this Adama Traore and blah 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 inquiries FC and register interest Albion started coming out as our alias name, and we went early, and it was me and Nick that was there on the first day, and it grew and obviously got the coverage. But the thing is, we went too early because then obviously what happened right at the end, and it killed everything, was Kulusevski and Bentancur.
Yeah.
So we're not gonna risk doing that again and building up a load up. Well, hopefully we don't need to do it. Because this is the window where we do things. This is the big window. Take 44.
Windows. This is one of them.
Yes.
This is an important as summer.
Exactly. There will be things being planned, but we're just going to have to ride out and see how this window goes and how we come back from the World Cup, because there is no point starting something just to have it the rug pulled from underneath us.
I totally agree.
So there are plans, there will be talks, there will be action, but we're waiting so we hold the aces, not let's get loads of coverage and then just look like mugs. So just to let you know, there will be stuff going, and we go from there. But we'll go around everyone now and take we'll do their channel promoted, and we'll start with you, Nick, Barry, Shawfield, Grant.
Okay, so you can find me on Shelfside Spurs Show on Thursdays. Thursday will probably be the last one before the World Cup, because there'll be nothing else to talk about apart from going around in circles. Come over and join us. We'll talk nonsense. We've got a new feature. Sophie's whereabouts, what she's been up to this week.
I can't believe that's the thing, honestly.
So we've got a new Sophie's whereabouts. If Iggy joins us, we'll have Iggy's corner. We'll just have a bit of fun. We won't talk about the Liverpool game because it would have been done to death. So we'll talk about what happened at Forest.
Corner after that AC Milan Spurs pick. Iggy's cornered.
Yeah, Iggy's cornered. Yeah, Iggy is cornered. So look, we tend to keep it light-hearted, talk nonsense, have a laugh, and talk a little bit about football. So
you go, Eugene.
Of course, guys, so if you're not subscribed to Spurs Vision TV, I usually do shows on Wednesday previously, but now I'm moving it to Monday because Monday is going to be my off days. It's usually more or less 2:30, or now, if it's 2:30, I think it'll be about 1:30 British Standard Time now. It's because the clocks have been pushed back 8 hours for us here. So usually I do my shows about 9:30 my time here, right? Because I don't do it too late because the next day is a working day for me, right? And for me, my shows usually I'll bring a lot of fans from other clubs, right? And we'll just have like banter among each other. We try to get some Malaysian fans on. Sometimes I get Malaysian fans from Newcastle, West Ham, right? Still looking for the Malaysian Spurs fan to join me on this Malaysian Spurs TV channel, Spurs YouTube channel, right? But let's see what happens. And maybe if some of the England games fall on Monday during the World Cup, and if the timing is right, I'll just do a watch along. Somehow or another, England is my surrogate country for the World Cup, right? Being a Malaysian, I don't think we'll ever have a chance to be in the World Cup. So you have to pick one country to be a surrogate.
You could have picked a better country, Eugene.
No, you know why I had to pick England? Because if Brian knows the history, how I fell in love with Spurs and all that, right? So because in my very, very early age, right, I went over to the UK where my dad read law there. I stayed there for 3 years. So that's how the affection route from
I
there.
thought, Eugene, I thought you were going to say you like disappointment. So, like Spurs, you
Oh,
chose
no,
England.
yeah,
You chose
part
England
of it.
because of that
Yeah,
disappointment. You didn't
and
want
there's
to.
such a reflection to it, how disappointing England is and how disappointing Spurs are. And it mirrors everything, so you get used to it. So I've been
You
used to
couldn't
it.
have. You couldn't have like 4.5 weeks of celebration during the season. So you thought, do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to be disappointed for the next 4 weeks. I haven't got Spurs to do it, so let's choose England.
Let's choose England. Yeah. And they bring your hopes up, right? Oh, we're reaching the semi-finals. We reached the finals, and then you pop. Nah, I could have chosen Brazil. I could have chosen Argentina, but of all the countries you choose, right, choose England.
You've got to choose the one that suffers.
Yeah.
You can't pick a team that wins like Italy. You've got to pick a team that always loses.
Yeah, suffering's not being in it at all.
Tottenham.
Yeah.
Iggy, my home from home. Looking forward to seeing you as I am, Nick. Me and Nick will be in the studio for the watch along. But what you got
Maybe
coming
we'll
up?
get to do one together soon, Brian.
Oh,
sure.
brother, well, 100%.
Do one with
mate.
Nick as well. As soon as
100.
it becomes possible, we'll do it for sure.
100.
Guys, Good Morning Tottenham away videos are out every day pretty much. And tonight will be on Tottenham away 8:30 UK time, or 8:30 UK time. So plenty to discuss. No doubt this AC Milan versus Spurs is going to be, you know what? It's going to be an absolute mare to deal with, but it is what it is. And like I said, now I'm going to get it from the missus as well because it's on Valentine's Day. So it's just relentless, honestly. But it is what it is, guys. We move on and let's hope that we get the hope. It's always hope that we get these players that we've been talking about that we desperately need. But you're right. At some point, there has to be a comeuppance. At some point, responsibility has to be taken. And it can't always, guys, it cannot always be the manager to pay the ultimate price when he's not being given the full tools to do his job in. It's as simple as that. 14, 15 managers, how many more would it take? So I'm going to hold fort for now. Wait till the 1st of Feb. And then let's see how these promises or these things that said would happen, do they actually happen? Let's hold fire for now. But as always, guys, come on, you Spurs. You've got to win that game against Nottingham Forest, and then they'll go and beat Leeds, and then try and end this part of the season in the best way possible.
Ben, promote what you got coming up on your other channel, your lovely channel.
So yes, we will be going live at 2 p.m. today on the Coffee Company, where we're just going to chill and do what we usually do, which is be nice to each other. We talk about other people's cultures. We talk about all the nice things in life. And then possibly on a Monday, Rez and Co will turn up and ruin it and make it in the wall part 2. And you don't usually ruin my show though, Brian. It's Rez that usually ruins it with some nonsense. But we bring our own little flair to the Coffee Company. We've got a wonderful coffee at the moment called Coffee on Tour, which is the celebration of our partnership with the fellas on Tottenham on Tour. And we're now part of this channel forthwith from now. And get over to the Coffee Company. We got some wonderful things lined up, and then drink some coffee and just be nice to each other. So Christmas coffee very soon as well. So look out for the Christmas coffee. But big up all, and we'll be seeing you in Milan, I guess.
So let me just quickly say, I'm going to get Ben will know when to end the stream because I will do my normal sign off. My very I feel so good to do it back on our channel. But yes, we are back and we are back in a big way. We are gonna be back regularly. It's to be so much easier with me being on the same time zone as most of the people back home where I am will be on Wednesday. Loads of new stuff coming. Ask Us Anything will be coming back, which is a favourite. But Ben and I were having a chat on Saturday, and I've come up with a very, very interactive little mini show, little pre-recorded, which is going to get loads and loads and loads of people interacting. So we're looking forward to doing that. Thanks for coming back and supporting us. We know it's been a long time, but what I will say, as I just warm it up, is if you do workouts like me and your fingers get very, very dry skin, Just remember that Christmas and Hanukkah is just round the corner. So with the Google deal going quiet, as I said, and the Spurs extending their contract with Milton Brown to be the official club toiletries, please get those stocking fillers in. And as always, Levy
Maybe.
out.